initially, like, the rules did not begin. You know, it was something that he
What do you mean the rules didn't begin? What do you mean?
Like, meaning, you know, when I initially met him, I would meet him in whatever I wanted to wear, whether that be jeans, whether that be, you know, a blouse, whatever. And then, you know, slowly but surely, you know, he started to get into, okay, you can only wear sweats. Okay, you have to knock any and every single time you come out of this room. Okay, you need to delete every single person in your phone except for my 4 phone numbers. Okay, you have to stop doing this. Okay, you can't do this anymore. If you don't listen, then we're going to get into, you know, beatings and chastising, and, you know, this is to help you.
And it did get into beatings.
It did. It did. Yeah, it did. And, you know, it was always, you know, this is to better you, you know. It was...
Did you believe that at the time?
No, because I had never, you know, come from an abusive household or anything like that. And so even, you know, still to this day, I'm shocked that I would allow a man to put his hands on me, because, you know, it's just not something that I had, you know, grown up experiencing. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know how to get out of something like that even more, because I had never
experienced it.
I had never experienced it. For 5 years, you know, it's no secret we didn't have social media. For 5 years, you know, it's no secret we didn't have social media. For 5 years, you know, it's no secret we didn't have social media. Okay, first of all, I've always had a fucking phone, so I don't get where people think, oh my gosh, she has a phone, wow. No, I've always had a phone. Just because my parents put it out there that I don't have a phone, that's them. I don't talk to my parents. I'm not in communication with my parents, and I don't want to talk to my parents. I'm a grown-ass woman, 21, about to be 22. And if I don't want to talk to my parents, I don't have to talk to my parents. I don't have to talk to nobody in this fucking world if I don't want to. This is exactly why I don't post on social media, because people are going to say what they want. People are going to take whatever they want and turn it into whatever they want. But at the end of the day, let it be known that I am definitely in love with Robert fucking Kelly, R. Kelly. Yes, that is mine. Okay? And I could give a damn about what anybody say. Like, I'm so heated right now. Like, so, you know, everything that we heard, it came from him. And his lawyers are going to prove that he's innocent. I mean, FBI came with the same charges. Homeland Security came with the same fucking charges. Racketeering, child pornography. Like, damn, I thought y'all was the smart ones, but y'all still doing the same shit, the same 2008 trial that he was acquitted on. But okay, you're the smart ones. Okay, great. Just keep doing your job. And if it wasn't true, we wouldn't know, you know. And for a very long time, he had us very bitter at our parents, very upset at our parents. I feel like it was hard for me because I had been told so many negative things about them. And so even when I met them, I was scared.
I've not talked to you guys in over a year because I would call you guys 4 or 5 months at a time. And when I would call you guys would be yelling, you guys would be cursing me out. Mommy would be yelling at the top of her lungs. And so what I would do, I'd say, okay, I'm going to give you about 4 or 5 months. And then hopefully you just miss me so much that you just want to talk to me and your arms are open. And eventually it got to that. Unfortunately, it took a little bit longer than I anticipated.
You still believed what he was telling you about your parents.
Yes. And, you know, not only that, you know, for 5 years, I didn't look at a man. I didn't, you know, talk to a man. You know, men were told to turn around anytime we walked through hallways or anything.
You talked to no men other than R. Kelly for 5 years?
Yes, yes.
So if a man walked by, you were told not to look at them and they were told not to look at you?
Yes, yes. And even if I was out shopping, like I could have been in a store for a whole hour and, you know, the people who cash you out could have changed. And if a man came, put everything down, leave the store now. You know, that's just what it was.
And you would do that? I
would have to do that, yeah. And so even coming back home to my parents, I couldn't look my dad in his eyes. I couldn't look my brother in his eyes. I was scared to hug them. I was scared to touch them because I was like...
That had been so ingrained in you that you were still reacting that way.
Yes, and so I feel like that was the hardest part for me and them. However, they were so supportive.
They never gave up on you,
They
Azriel.
never
They never
gave
gave up on
They
you.
never did.
You know that I talked to Angela now. You got to get rid of Mason, and you have to get rid of this publisher because they are working with Avenatti. This was a whole, like, this Gail King thing. They knew about this from, like, weeks ago. Like, they've been planning this. I know you don't probably want to listen to me, but please, you cannot let him do this interview on Monday. Like, all of this stuff is a plan to just, like, rip you apart and make shit worse.
Cannot let who do an interview?
This Daryl Johnson guy. The guy who's supposed to be, like, the publicist or whatever.
Rip me apart how?
Get you away.
Rip me apart how?
Like, it's just all things. Like, I don't know.
No. Just be specific. Be specific. Rip me apart how?
I don't know the how.
Okay, I want you to find out. I want you to find out how and let me know.
Okay, because I'm letting you know now. Well, I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay, I did want to tell you, like, to switch the 90 days out, but when you do switch them out, I did have a lot of stuff to talk to you about, like, really good stuff. What do you mean? We already talked about last week switching out the days. We've been talked about that, so why are you saying wow?
Yeah, because you hung up on me and called right into the building, and they called me to the floor to discuss the same thing. I already told you.
Right.
We all are family all together. We have our moments where we sit and watch movies all together. We go to amusement parks all together.
I'm not talking about, Azriel, going to movies and sitting watching, going to parks. I'm talking about, is it a three-way sexual relationship?
Sexually? Well, first of
between
all,
the
I'm
three
not
of you?
here to talk about my personal life.
Okay.
And I would never share with no one what I do in or outside of the bedroom. And as a woman, I'm sure you would not either.
No, I wouldn't, but
Okay, then.
No,
Yeah.
no, you're
Next
right.
question.
No, you're right. I would not, but this is a very different circumstance.
It's
and
not
I
a
think
different
it's a fair
circumstance. There are
question.
people all over the world who have multiple girlfriends. It's no different.
Do both of you all believe you're in love with him?
Of
Absolutely.
course.
Yes, absolutely.
Of course.
Should your
No.
parents be concerned?
No.
Why?
Well, my parents knew where I have always been for 4 years. They have known. They know that I've been well taken care of.
They never thought you were missing, Azriel. They just were wondering if you were okay.
Well, my parents have actually came to Chicago and seen me a few times. I've talked to them. They stopped answering my calls.
You know what they say? They say that you were brainwashed. I talked to your dad last night. He says, my daughter is brainwashed, and he's very concerned. He said he was here 2 days ago, and you wouldn't even look him in the eye.
Okay, I wouldn't look him in the eye because he's a liar, and he's a manipulative liar.
I'll tell you why they're concerned, Azriel, because they say she's 17. We found text messages that indicated that she was having sex with R. Kelly when she was
No.
17. Is that true?
No, that is a lie. That is a lie. I was not having sex with him at 17.
Why would they want to lie about you, their daughter?
Okay, so when I first met Robert, my parents told me to lie about my age. So when I met him, he thought that I was 18. On top of that, when I was 17, my parents were actually making me, trying to get me to take photos with him, take sexual videos with him, all kinds of stuff.
Wait. Your parents encouraged you to do sexual videos
Yes.
with R. Kelly?
Yes. And they said because If they ever have to blackmail him, what they're trying to do now, they can use it against him, which is exactly what they're doing.
Joycelyn, I see you nodding a lot with what
Yes.
she's saying. Why are you nodding in agreement with what she's saying?
Because everything that she's saying is true. Our parents are basically out here just to get money, and
Your
they're
parents,
scamming.
you're saying the same as saying?
Well,
you're
both
saying-
of our parents are basically out here. They're trying to get money and scam because they didn't agree on what happened, you know, with music or wherever it could be, and they're just very upset.
The truth gonna come out, goddammit. You keep on fucking with my daughter, the truth is gonna come out. You need to fucking leave her alone.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, hold on. Back up. So Tamara knows already?
Yeah.
She know the truth?
Hell yeah. I told her.
So then I don't understand how they know all of the truth about these people, but they still allowing them to be a part of it.
Well, you know why? They had spent over $3, $4, $5 million, and it's too late to edit that shit and take them out.
That's some crazy shit. Now I can see y'all and y'all daughters, but if you know that, you know, these other girls are being dishonest, my thing is, what makes you think that it's not gonna come out later and then you're gonna look like a damn fool?
Exactly.
This is the first time hearing, to be honest with you, that your parents are trying to get money from R. Kelly.
Okay.
Because your father told a very different story
Yeah,
to me
well,
last night.
Yeah, he's the manipulative. He's very manipulative, so he's the one you need to watch out for. But my dad and my mom, they started to send threats to both me and him. They said, oh, I'll put all your naked pictures all over the world. I'm going to ruin you. I'm going to ruin him. If he doesn't send $20,000 to this bank account by Monday, oh, I'm going to put everything out there and then $10,000 after that. You're trying to solicit me like I'm some hoe. I'm not. I'm your child.
Exactly.
My observation of the public is that 50% of them think he's disgusting and will not buy his music, but teeter on still liking the song. I mean, goodness knows, Your Body's Calling Me. That's a legendary song. It's just that now the body that's calling is a 12-year-old body, which is disgusting.
Many things I've pointed out were overlooked, primarily because so many people just go along with the fact that this is this man in this tape, when I've said they can't even get the age of this alleged victim correct. So how can I take it serious? I believe Sparkle's niece was used because she was around the age that they needed. But again, if you're in court in 2008 saying she's 12 or 13, but now every time they get on these platforms they're saying 14, and then they're hiding the fact that these tapes were dated for 1999, it's obvious why they're manipulating the age and the dates, because they cannot prove it was him on that tape. Yet, all these corporations are still profiting on both ends of the spectrum, from the negative to the positive. And people just bypassed how CNN proudly talked about how they viewed this alleged evidence, yet people on the internet are talking about, well, he shouldn't have made that tape. Clearly, that wasn't even a topic of discussion for New York. But what is a topic of discussion is all this evidence they didn't have. Like when I pointed out a long time ago, Robert Kelly had security cameras. So why didn't they pull this security footage to prove their case without shadow of a doubt? They could not do this. What they did is they pieced together all these points and stories that they feel like make him look guilty and overlook things that even these Jane Does and associates said, such as a lot of these rules they like to harp on were set in place because these women that he did deal with knew he was married, and Mama Bear was the one who initiated these rules.
Come through, Facebook Live. Yes, that is my baby daddy playing in the background. What y'all thought?
Turn right to I-285 South.
Questions, you have passed my test. Happy people, yeah, yeah, yeah. Turn it, yes, them who people? Happy people. Come on, baby daddy. Other baby daddy. Dancing. Happy people. Yeah. Stepping. Happy people. Oh, yeah. Not y'all. Evil ass, evil ass, evil ass, irritated people. What do you do? When a feeling has come over you, you let go. Wow.
Now it's clear as day that people were sent in to keep the public distracted because all these participants were busy trying to get their shows, book deals, and everything else. That's why they were doing these interviews. But then when things began to move over to the criminal side, we watched all these exes be intimidated while all this fraudulent activity went on in the background. All of which I continue to point out, considering I noticed that people were pretending to be Robert Kelly. So when I heard all this so-called evidence that prosecutors had when it comes to text messaging, you still had to prove that he was the one who sent it. But instead, we had no defense to rip that apart with real evidence. Meanwhile, I'm showing you all the conflicts that's going on with these attorneys and how individuals associated themselves with so-called Jane Does and how all these funds were orchestrated, but people say that Robert Kelly didn't get this or that. And then people intentionally mislead the public when the attorneys have verified the defense fund, claimed that Nicole failed to set up a fund so that they can transfer it, and nobody ever points out the fact that there's still all these other funds nobody talks about. These non-disclosures these Jane Does speak on also included the entourage, which I pointed out because of the fact I told you all some of these people I don't feel were with Robert Kelly in the beginning. But to wrap up this video, let's talk about the facts. And the fact is, if I'm supposed to believe this man orchestrated this rego, I'm going to need to see some of these accomplices given that same energy, especially with all these Twitter thugs on the internet. They've spent all this time dragging her in the midst to give these Jane Does credibility. And she's so slow, she just let them drag her into the bull crap and take away from her kids' generational wealth. So with that being said, why do people bypass the fact that Lisa Ray introduced this Andrea Kelly to Robert Kelly? So does that mean she was recruiting Andrea Kelly? When Andrea Kelly was allegedly training individuals, we're going to keep bypassing that. We're going to accept calling her a victim when she was there from start to finish, even when this alleged marriage with Aaliyah supposedly happened. We're also going to bypass how all these accusers were in conflict with one another. All these participants who helped construct this docuseries were in conflict with each other. And that is where all the information that I was able to present to you came from. Meanwhile, other individuals who disagree with my point of view couldn't even focus on the facts of this case and put their personal feelings aside. So a lot of these people are just talking on deaf ears at this specific point because I laid all this information out to you. I told you I wasn't going to be interfering into a federal case, and I told you I was going to sit back and watch it all play out. And that's exactly what I'm going to continue to do. And let me clarify that for the slow people. I'm not here to do nobody's jobs. So for the smart dummies that be in the comment talking about the videos are nice, but what are you gonna do? Explain to me what you think I'm going to do in a situation where I don't know the people involved. I think all these people jank it in the mug, as I have said, and these people on the internet keep trying to get you to deal with them. Make it make sense. But since you're so smart, I'd like to know what you're going to do. It's too many people on this internet worried about what the next person is doing instead of focusing on what they can do. So if you know how to utilize all the information you've been given, do it.
The only thing I have left is my voice. And now I have to use it for my protection because they left me no choice. See, my work has nothing to do with my private life. So stay the fuck out of my business and tend to your own damn life. So go ahead, say what you wanna say about who I wanna date. But you won't say that shit to my face, cause you know it ain't shit to say. Next nigga bring me some dumb shit, it's gonna be a misunderstanding. Cause niggas that listen to dumb shit are niggas that be on that dumb shit. They need a life cause they ain't got no life, so they always conjuring up dumb shit. Blocking my path, they don't know the half and so they making assumptions. Just one do assumptions. Cost a man his whole career. Found guilty when you're innocent is the only test I fear. There is one thing that's for sure, and I wanna make this shit clear. I done lived my voice and represented my country for 31 fucking years. Damn it, I admit.
Let's go! Break out the food and the drinks, it's gonna be a party.